The world is heading towards an acute water crisis. This has turned water scarcity into a key concern for the governments around the world. The Indian government is also spending big on water, as seen through budgetary allocations to the Ministry of Jal Shakti, which have been about a lakh crore for the last 2 years. This makes water a powerful investment theme. So if you want to profit from it, what can you do? Hello and welcome to ET Money's YouTube channel. Today we will talk about how you can pick promising water related stocks in a step-by-step manner. This video belongs to our playlist on how to pick stocks. If you would like to watch more such videos, do explore it. The link is in the description. So let's start right away with the first step. Water is a broad theme and it can encompass stocks from multiple sectors and industries. Unfortunately, there is no ready-made list of index for water-related stocks, but searching the internet for prospective stocks can be a good starting point. Of course, you may not find all water-related stocks this way, but the list will still be large enough to start researching. We also checked the internet for water-related stocks and in a couple of minutes compiled a list of 27 prospective stocks. The names and last 1 year returns are on your screen. But if you want a larger universe, that's possible as well. Once you have the initial list, you can look for pairs of the names in the list. For instance, consider Shakti Pumps. Shakti Pumps manufacture a variety of pumps. Now, if you look for its peers, KSB Limited appears as one of the other pump makers. Apart from a variety of pumps, KSB also manufactures valves, water-related systems, actuators, valve and pump automation systems, and so on. This wide water-related product range can make KSB a worthy addition to your research universe. Once you have finalized your universe of stocks, you can move to the next step. Broadly, water-related stocks can be divided into two categories: water engineering stocks and water equipment stocks. Water engineering companies undertake construction projects related to water. These include water treatment plants, water supply systems, sewage treatment plants, sewerage systems, and so on. A major name in this segment is VA Tech Wabag. The company boasts of a 100-year experience in plant building. It specializes in the turnkey execution and operation of water and wastewater treatment plants for both the municipal and industrial sectors. Then consider EMS Limited, a Ghaziabad-based company. EMS is an EPC company that provides turnkey services in water and wastewater collection, treatment and disposal. EPC stands for Engineering, Procurement and Construction. EPC companies undertake projects for their clients and deliver them as per their requirements. Another example is Enviro Infra Engineers. Enviro specializes in the development of water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, and common effluent treatment plants. So, water engineering companies are essentially construction companies that specialize in water-related solutions. The second broad category of water stocks is water equipment companies. Now, these companies manufacture a variety of water-related products, such as pipes, pumps, water tanks, valves, chemicals, purification equipment, and so on. Shakti Pumps and KSB, about which we talked a little while ago, are water equipment companies. Among pipe manufacturers are manufacturers of ductile iron pipes such as Electro Steel Castings, Jindal Saw, Jai Balaji Industries, and Welspun Corp. Ductile iron or DI pipes are used for water supply and sewage applications. Electro Steel claims to be the pioneer in setting up the first ductile iron pipe plant in the Indian subcontinent in 1994. The company has more than 50 years of experience in making cast and ductile iron spun pipes and fittings. Then there are companies like Supreme Industries that manufacture a host of water equipment such as plumbing pipes, water tanks, bath fittings, drainage pipes, septic tanks, borewell pipes, and so on. A niche company in the water equipment segment is Ion Exchange. The company offers a range of water treatment products used in water engineering. It also manufactures resins, which are used to remove contaminants from water, membranes which act as filters, specialty chemicals used in water treatment, monitoring and automation instruments, and so on. Another interesting name in the water equipment segment is Jash Engineering. The company manufactures water control gates, screening equipment, valves, pumps, hydro water equipment, etc. With a market cap of under 400 crore, a unique company in the water equipment segment is Tailor-Made Renewables. The company specializes in drinking water, wastewater, and water engineering technologies. So these were some examples of water engineering and water equipment companies. Now, water equipment companies are quite varied. So when you compare these companies, it's advisable to consider the companies in similar businesses. This brings us to the next step. If you want to play the water theme, you want to focus on companies that are focused on water related activities. Now, there are diversified companies that have water related activities as one of their many operational segments. Such companies have drivers other than water and hence can be impacted by them. So it's important to quantify their water related activities. For instance, consider Thermax, a comparatively larger name with a market cap of about 47,000 crores in the list that we generated from the online search. Thermax is an engineering giant offering solutions in energy and environment. Water and waste solution is also among the company's business verticals. But the company also offers thermal and renewable power generation solutions, air pollution control solutions, and manufactures chemicals for a variety of industries. If you take a look at its segments, you can't clearly tell the contribution of only water-related activities. This makes Thermax a not so direct play on the water theme. That's good from a diversification perspective, but if your objective is to focus, you may want to drop Thermax from your research list. On the other hand, consider VA Tech Wabag, an ion exchange. Wabag calls itself the leader in total water management. Ion Exchange calls itself a pioneer water treatment with a legacy spanning over 6 decades. Now, both these companies and many others clearly have their operations built around water and to play the water theme. It's better to focus on them. If you do consider a more diversified play, do check the revenue share of water related activities. It should be substantial enough and also clearly quantifiable to merit investing in those companies. Now, this brings us to the next step. Financial analysis of water stocks. But before I move to that, if you are finding this video useful, do subscribe to this channel to watch more such videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss a video from us. Analyzing water stocks involves analysis of both financial and industry metrics. The classic financial metrics include revenue growth, profit growth, returns on equity and capital employed, cash flows, debt, operating margins, and so on. For instance, let's check the 3-year revenue growth, profit growth, and average return on capital employed for some of the companies we shortlisted at the beginning of this video. To refine the list, you can filter out stocks based on some basic criteria. For instance, if we filter out stocks that have revenue growth of at least 8% per annum, profit growth of at least 12% per annum, and average ROCE of at least 15%, we are left with just 10 stocks. This is a pretty refined list on which you can research further. Now, it may also make sense to look at some industry metrics depending on the broader segments we discussed a little while ago, water engineering or water equipment. Since water engineering companies are essentially construction companies, they have a capital intensive business. For such companies, 2 industry metrics stand out. Working capital turnover ratio, also called as sales to working capital, and receivable days. The working capital ratio tells us how effectively a company uses its working capital to generate sales. The higher this ratio, the better. Working capital is the difference between current assets and current liabilities. It indicates a company's short-term financial health and the ability to fund its operations in the short term. Receivable days is the average number of days in which a company gets paid. Now, since engineering companies undertake projects with long gestation periods, it is useful to check this ratio for them. The lower this number, the better. Let's check these ratios for the water engineering companies in our list. ITD Cementation stands out in terms of the working capital ratio, and Triveni Engineering has the lowest receivable days. But do note that both these companies are not water pure plays. ITD's exceptional working capital turnover ratio also warrants a closer scrutiny. Other notable names in the list are SPML Infra and Wellspun Enterprises for their working capital turnover, and Enviro Infra and Wellspun Enterprises for receivable days. Other metrics that matter for water engineering companies are debt, operating margins, and cash flow from operations. It's normal for water engineering companies to have slightly higher debt given their capital intensive businesses. Their cash flows may also be shaky for a year or two, but too high a debt and persistently negative cash flows from operations must be watched. You can check debt, operating margins, and cash flows from operations for water equipment companies too. For them, low debt and steady cash flows are preferable. Now, two key industry metrics for water equipment companies are capex and inventory days. Since water equipment companies are manufacturers, it is prudent to check their capital expenditure as well as an indicator of growth potential. To put capex in perspective, it can be compared with sales. The higher the capex to sales ratio, the more a company can be thought to be investing in its future. Inventory days. The second industry metric tells us how long a business holds its inventory before selling it. The lower this number, the better. Let's check these two numbers for the water equipment stocks in our list. You can compare the numbers for the companies in similar businesses. Finally, don't forget to check the valuations of both water engineering and water equipment companies and compare them with their historical averages and peers. So this is how you can analyze water stocks both on financial and industry metrics. You can even add more metrics depending on your requirements. And when it comes to financial data, ET Money can be your best resource. You can find financial data on all listed companies on the ET Money website and app. For instance, you can find revenue, profit, cash flows, debt, and financial ratios for all listed companies. What's more, you can even find data on advanced metrics like working capital, inventory, and receivable days too, about which we have talked in this video. To access all this data, just search for the company name and go to the financials section. This brings us to the fifth and the final step. In thematic stock investing, it is not enough to consider the bigger trend. It is also essential to check the outlook for the company you are going to invest, as ultimately it is the company that will make money for you and not the trend itself. To know that, you can read the annual report or investor presentation or interviews with the management. Another useful source that provides an insight into the management's plans, visions, and strategy is investor con calls. Many companies hold these con calls after their quarterly results, where they update analysts and investors about the company's plans and business outlook. The transcripts of these con calls are available on company websites. For instance, take the Q2 con call of Electro Steel Castings, the DI pipe manufacturer we discussed at the start of this video. In its call, the management talked about the business outlook. It said that the company plans to enhance the production capacity to 1 million tons by the end of financial year 26. The government's Vikasit Bharat vision, which includes Jal Jeevan Mission and Amrut 2.0, provide robust demand visibility for DI pipes and fittings. Additionally, governments across the globe are looking forward for modernizing their water infrastructure. Coking coal and iron are key raw materials for DI pipes. While coking coal prices have come down, iron ore prices were volatile between Q1 and Q2. Fortunately, they are stabilizing now. So the company hopes that raw material prices will be supportive. That's a positive. The company has also booked a good amount of coking coal, so it's also insulated from price fluctuations in its key raw material. The management also quantified the impact of a shutdown at a unit and the slowdown in order inflows. For water engineering companies, order book details are an important piece of information. You can find those in investor presentations. For instance, VATech Wabag has a full section dedicated to its order book analysis in its Q2 investor presentation. So this is how you can analyze the business outlook. There is one more crucial thing which you should always keep an eye on while picking stocks based on the water theme. Let's discuss that in concluding section of this video. The water theme, like many other themes such as renewables or EVs or AI, looks promising in its own right. But it is also important to understand the limitations of this theme. A key driver of the water theme is the government budgetary allocation. Any substantial revisions in it can impact the related companies significantly. The businesses of water engineering companies are tender driven and hence can be quite competitive. Water equipment companies also compete extensively with the unorganized sector. Their products tend to have long life cycles, so demand tends to depend more on new installations rather than the replacement of existing ones. All these can make water related companies quite cyclical in nature. This means that you can expect phases of high and low growth. As an investor, you may want to enter water companies during the down cycle and exit when the profits are booming. That's the tactical way of investing in these companies. But if you want to hold these stocks for the long term, don't get disappointed with the phases of low growth and profitability. Picking good quality stocks that can weather sectoral storms will be key for long term investors. And with this, I have come to the end of this video. As always, none of the stocks discussed in this video nor the framework itself are our recommendations. So do your own research and due diligence before investing in any stock. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, share and comment in large numbers so that it can reach far and wide. I'll be back soon with another analysis.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.